The next Messi might be playing in this World Cup right now. Millions of football fans are watching the World Cup for one reason: to see who wins it. But scouts, club owners, managers, and football executives are watching for something completely different. They're searching for the next Messi, because every World Cup creates a superstar. Pelé, Maradona, Ronaldo, Mbappé, players who entered the tournament as talented footballers and left as global icons. And history suggests it could happen again. The scary part? The player who changes football's future may already be on the field, and most fans don't even know his name. Today we're looking at 5 young players who could leave this World Cup as football's next superstar. But only one of them fits the pattern that previous legends followed, and the answer might surprise you. Here's the strange thing: the best player doesn't always become the biggest star. Football history is filled with incredible players that most fans barely remember. Meanwhile, a handful of players become something much bigger. They become symbols, icons, legends. So what separates them? Talent matters, but talent alone isn't enough. To become the face of football, a player needs 4 things: elite ability, the mentality to handle pressure, a stage big enough to showcase it, and a moment. One unforgettable moment, and there is no bigger stage than the World Cup. Just ask Kylian Mbappé. Before 2018, football fans knew who he was. After the World Cup, the entire world knew his name. The same thing happened with Pelé. The same thing happened with countless legends before him. Which brings us to today, because football is entering completely unknown territory. For almost 20 years, football belonged to 2 men: Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo. Every debate, every trophy, every Ballon d'Or conversation, everything revolved around them. But for the first time in decades, football is looking for its next king, and 5 young players are trying to claim the throne. Candidate number 1. Let's start with the obvious choice: Endrick. Even before moving to Europe, Endrick was already being called Brazil's next phenomenon. His strength, his explosiveness, his finishing, everything about him screams superstar potential. If football was based purely on talent, he would already be near the top of the list. But there is a problem. Brazil has produced hundreds of wonderkids. Some became legends. Many disappeared. There are dozens of forgotten prodigies. The pressure of carrying an entire nation's expectations can destroy careers, and no country creates pressure quite like Brazil. So while Endrick checks the talent box, the question remains: can he survive the expectations? And that brings us to candidate number 2, Lamine Yamal. At an age when most players are still trying to break into professional football, Yamal is already playing on the biggest stages in Europe. His dribbling is ridiculous, his vision is elite, his confidence doesn't seem normal, and because of that, people have already started making comparisons. Comparisons to Messi, but history tells us something interesting. Being called the next Messi is usually a curse, not a blessing. The moment those comparisons begin, expectations become impossible. Suddenly, every mistake is magnified. Every bad game becomes a headline. Every missed chance becomes evidence that you're not good enough. Yamal has all the talent in the world, but football history is full of players who were crushed by expectations, which is why another player might actually have an advantage, because he isn't carrying the same weight. The dark horse Arda Güler. The Turkish playmaker possesses something scouts obsess over: creativity, the ability to see passes that other players don't, the ability to create magic from nothing. In tournament football, those players can change everything. One moment, one pass, one goal. That's all it takes. But even then, there's a missing ingredient. Because football's biggest stars aren't just remembered for what they do, they're remembered for when they do it. Timing matters, and that leads us to the player that many casual fans haven't heard enough about. The surprise contender, Franco Mastantuono. While the football world focuses on the biggest names, some scouts are quietly paying attention to him, and for good reason. Unlike many wonderkids, he isn't carrying the pressure of being football's chosen one. He's entering with freedom. Freedom can be dangerous, because while defenders are preparing for the stars, everyone knows unexpected players often steal the spotlight. It has happened before, again and again and again. Football doesn't always create heroes the way people expect. Sometimes the future arrives quietly, and by the time the world notices, it's already too late. But here's where the story gets really interesting, because none of these players are actually the favorite, not according to history. The real answer. When researchers looked at the rise of football's greatest icons, they found something surprising. The players who become global legends usually have three things in common. They arrive young, they perform under extreme pressure, and they create unforgettable moments before anyone expects them to. Not after, before. That's exactly what made Messi special. It's what made Pelé special. It's what made Mbappé special. And that's why predicting football's next superstar is almost impossible. Because the next Messi rarely announces himself. He emerges. Unexpectedly, suddenly, sometimes in a single game, sometimes in a single moment. A goal, a dribble. A performance that makes millions of people stop and say, wait, who is this guy? And somewhere in this World Cup, that moment is waiting to happen. Maybe it's Endrick. Maybe it's Yamal. Maybe it's Guler. Maybe it's Mastantuono. Or maybe it's somebody we've barely talked about. Somebody nobody expects. Because every football legend starts the same way, as a question. And by the end of this World Cup, the world might finally have its answer. The next Messi may already be here. We just haven't recognized him yet. But finding the next Messi isn't football's biggest problem. Because history shows something terrifying. Most football wonderkids never become stars. In fact, many disappear completely. And that's exactly what happened to one of football's most gifted young talents. Football has given us some of the greatest stories ever told, and we've only scratched the surface. If you enjoy documentaries that go beyond the goals and into the people, psychology, and moments that change the game, subscribe to Why Football. Because the next great football story is just getting started. I'll see you in the next one.